If only I could do the music. So Skyfall is one of my favorite movies that has ever come out in the Bond series ever. And it is great. I fucking love this movie. I really do. And it actually baffles me how much memory has failed me with Casino Royale. Like, I watched Casino Royale a month ago, and I haven't stopped watching it since. Well, I have, but I've watched it a few times since last month, and it really has baffled me how memory failed me, because I love that, because when I first watched Casino Royale, I was like, that is a shit movie. And now I'm like, that is one of the best Bond movies ever. How the fuck did I ever think it was anything else? What the fuck? Anyway. So Skyfall is the first Bond movie that I had ever seen. I watched it when it was on TV because I had the chance to watch it in the movie theater. And I was like, nah, I'll watch Jack Reacher instead because Jack Reacher just looked more appealing. I didn't know that it was a Bond movie, and I didn't know that I would love Bond movies. I kind of like Jack Reacher too, but Bond, yeah. So Skyfall is the third installment of the Daniel Craig era. Second, if you don't count Quantum of Solace, because nobody wants Quantum of Solace, nobody liked Quantum of Solace, and it really just didn't. It was just a. Anyway, so Skyfall runs on the premise that a former agent has turned bad, and now this agent is coming for Bond and M. It's a very personal story for both Bond and M, because Bond at this point is just like, okay, M is basically like my mother at this point, and it's like nobody's taking my mother away from me. Although he doesn't act like that, but he's not as childish as that. He's more Bond than I am. Although if you cast me in a Bond movie, I will be glad to be Bond, because Bond, James Bond, shaken, not stirred. Okay, that was horrible, but I'm sticking with it. So this is as I said, this is the third movie that Daniel Craig has ever done, and at the time, everybody thought it was going to be Daniel Craig's last movie, because Daniel Craig was just like, yeah, I don't really like the series. I'm not a fan of the character at all, because the character is misogynist, and it's just like, I don't like the character. Fuck this character, so can I please go? And then the studio was like, nah, you can come back for 2 more. Well, you can come back for 1. Hopefully we can get you back for a second one, and then we'll wrap up your story, because we just want to wrap up your story, and hopefully we'll get Idris Elba for the next Bond. Please come back. And so they got him back. They got him back for this one. They got him back for Spectre, and they also got him back for No Time to Die, which I'm hoping is the best send off for his character, and hopefully it goes well. Awkward scratch, but I'm sticking with it. Anyway, so this movie has some of the best action sequences in the entire series. Like, Casino Royale had very great action sequences, and I fucking love every action sequence in that movie. There are one action sequence that I can think of in that movie where I'm like, you could just cut this out because I'm just less interested in it. But this movie has a lot of action sequences. Some of them are very short, some of them are very quick. A few of them are actually very long, and a lot of them, they're not just action, but they're also chase sequences. I love chase sequences. My favorite chase sequence in the movie is like dead center of the movie, where Silver has escaped. I should have said spoilers before I said that, but what the fuck ever. This movie's 8 years old. You've had to have seen it by now. Anyway, so Silver has escaped, and Bond is just chasing after him, and then the train comes out, and then it's just like explosions running to almost get hitting by a train, and like there's a lot of stuff that happens in this movie, and it is brilliant. I fucking love this movie. There's also plenty of moments where you can tell that this movie it wants to be deeper than all the other Bond movies. Like, Casino Royale is a deep Bond movie. This movie is just as deep, if not deeper, than the other movies have been. Because this movie, like I said, one of the characters, or the villain of the movie, is a former MI6 character. He's a former MI6 character, and you can tell that M got rid of him, basically just handed him off to be tortured and killed, basically, because he was slipping down the slopes of villainy, and he was doing his own thing. But that's a dark. That's a very dark moment because it's like you just you handed him off. You could have fired him. You could have just gotten it over with. You could have just clipped him, but she just handed him off and was like, yeah, have at it, torture him, kill him, doesn't bother me. And you can tell that M is a character that just she's Bond basically. Who like they both follow the mission. The mission is 100% the top priority. Everything else is secondary. Everything else comes next. Everything else comes last. And if this movie could tell you anything, is that the two of them will let each other die as long as it fits the movie. Well, Bond goes out of his way to save M, but really saving M was just a what do you call it? A stepping stone in finishing the mission, completing the mission, in stopping Silver. And Silver is one of the best villains in Bond history. Like, I love Silver. Silver is just, he is basically reverse Bond. He is on the other side of the spectrum. He will finish the mission because the dude is all about the mission, and the dude's mission right now is killing M. M is fucking dead. As long as she lives, his mission is no longer done, or his mission will never be done. And the opening sequence with Silver, like the first scene with Silver in the entire movie, is one of the best moments ever. It is just one shot of him walking from the end of the room all the way to Bond, talking about rats. And it is the most incredible dialogue I have ever heard, and it was beautiful. The dialogue in this movie is also one of the things that is just, it's great. The first scene with Silver is just, that is the best. That's probably my favorite moment in the entire movie. But one of my other favorite moments is when they reintroduced Q to the series. Q he's not like he's been in the past. He's not all old and he's like, don't touch that. It's my lunch. Bring everything back in one piece, will ya? This dude, he's a lot younger than Q has ever been. He's at least 25, and Bond just sits there with him, and it's just like, how in the hell are you like working for MI6? I mean, what? You still have spots on your face, man. It's just like, my complexion is hardly relevant, and all that. And it's just like, it's great dialogue, and you can tell that the two of them just have respect for one another after the dialogue, because it's just like, well, you held yourself verbally against me. Yeah, alright, you're cool. I really love the dialogue in these movies, especially with Bond and M. The first scene, the first real scene with Bond and M in the movie is when he comes back from the dead, and he's talking to her, and he's just like, you should have trusted me to finish the job. And she's like, well, you should know that the mission right now, that the job demands sacrifice, and if the sacrifice is your life versus everyone else's life, sorry, you're gonna die. You've been playing this game long enough, and maybe we both have. But that's the game. That's the game, and the mission. The mission comes first. Deal with it. And I fucking love M. M is my favorite character. Judi Dench's M has got to be my favorite M in the entire series. Every M after this, before this, well, Ralph Fiennes. I love Ralph Fiennes, but M is Judi Dench. In my mind, whenever I picture, somebody turns around and says, hey, who's M again? I'll be like, Judi Dench. I wouldn't say Ralph Fiennes. I wouldn't say any of the other guys. I would say Ralph Fiennes. That just contradicts what I just said. No, I would say Judi Dench. I would say Judi Dench because Judi Dench is the definitive M. She's all about the mission. She's crazy, man. She's fucking insane. I love her. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. So, Skyfall is exciting. It's brilliant. It takes risks. It is one of the best movies that I've seen in the Bond franchise in a while. Casino Royale is one of the best movies, but Skyfall, it's so much more deeper than I thought, than I believe it to be. Maybe it's nostalgia hitting me more than Casino Royale should, but I love this movie. And I would recommend it to anyone. Skyfall is absolutely worth watching with every ounce of your attention. Go see it if you haven't seen it. And if you like what you see here and you want to see more, click the subscribe button to see more.